Hi from New Zealand! This is the, I think, 14th take of this video, you guys. I was gonna do live, but I don't know how. I don't know how to do this. But I got the page up, and this is how brave I was about it. Yesterday, right before I made it, I texted my people and was like, can you please go like my page? Because I don't want to be lame, so go like it. And they, of course, did. Thank you, my people. But if you notice, I put coach because I didn't know what else to call myself. I'm not a public figure. I'm not a journalist. I'm not a writer. I'm not an author. I'm not an entertainer. I'm not a musician. I'm not any of these things. But that word, I feel like I am. I was born to coach. Oddly enough, I stink at all sports. And you need to be good at a sport or understand a sport through and through to be a good coach. So, I'm going to coach. Here is our coaching. Here is our locker room, you guys. This is it. We are going to figure out how to be the best at all sorts of different things, but we're going to be the best versions of ourselves. Because that's what good coaches, great coaches, successful coaches pull out the best in people. So we're going to pull out the best in each other. That's what we're going to do. So I thought I would start off, now that I have a title, that I'm the coach, I'm going to start off with the coaching phrase that changed my life. And I'm not being dramatic. It actually changed my life. So the last city I lived in, depths of depression, didn't even know I was in depression, not doing well, didn't like the city, didn't like the weather, was cold all the time, and I was a mess, a hot mess. Barely making, surviving to the end of the day to wake up and do it all again. That's kind of how I lived. But I loved rugby, and we just won the World Cup, which, you guys, Americans, listen to this. Other countries do things like the World Cup, and other people are involved. Who knew? We have the Super Bowl, we have World Series. Nobody plays in the World Series except Americans. I didn't even know it was a thing. But like soccer, there's a World Cup. The Olympics I knew. As an American, I knew everybody plays in the Olympics. Or does the sport, or runs, or whatever. But anyways, we have a Rugby World Cup where all different countries play, so you can actually legitimately call it a World Cup. Anyways, New Zealand has won the World Cup the last 2 times, which I like to brag about because I love rugby. But in between these last 2, the former All Black coach wrote a book. I can't remember the name of the book. Probably should have researched that. But his name is Sir Graham Henry, because in New Zealand we do things like England and people become sirs and madams. So Sir Graham Henry, who, because he won the World Cup, he was the coach that won the World Cup, he got the title Sir, he wrote a book. So I'm pretty sure it came out in 2012, because we won the World Cup in 2011. So I think it came out in 2012. So he wrote this book, but there was a line in his book that he told his players that year, getting ready for this World Cup, where it was in New Zealand. The pressure of a nation was on this team. I don't know how to describe the love of rugby in this country. It's like a chubby kid liking ice cream. And I can say that because I'm chubby and was chubby. They just love rugby. So they were getting ready for this. All this pressure on them. So the coach creates this culture and he says to them, here's what's going to happen. We did all these other years and we've lost and we've made mistakes. This is why we made mistakes. We expected it to go exactly how we practiced. And life doesn't work like that. So this is what our new mantra is going to be. We're going to expect the unexpected, and then we're going to deal with it, no matter what. And do you know what? So many things happened in that World Cup, which is a whole other video in and of itself. But if they didn't do that, oh man, they would have been a mess. Because here's how I did life up until I read this book. I expected perfection. Perfection from me, perfection from other people. I never said that because I was smart enough to know that wasn't true, that you shouldn't expect perfection. But I expected it. So when things didn't go right, when something happened and we didn't have enough money to pay for something, or my passport didn't come, or my visa didn't come, or this guy didn't like me, or this girl was mad at me, I lost it. Because I definitely didn't expect the unexpected. I expected the world that I created. And Danaland is not a healthy, normal place. It's crazy up here, which is, why I am the way I am. But anyways, so I'm reading this book literally in the depths of depression. And cannot get enough of what he's saying. And he says this line, and then he goes through all the things that happened that they had to actually live this out. I mean, people getting hurt, the star player not getting to play, all this stuff. And they still won because New Zealand is awesome at rugby. But I'm reading this book crying. And my husband's like, what are you reading? I'm reading Graham Henry's book. It's so good. Because I'm realizing up to this point, I was 36, I think, when I read this book. I had not done that. And this was one of the reasons my life was a hot mess. And if I could maybe, just maybe, take a hold of this, I could become who I was meant to be. Because all these expectations were ruining me. Just ruining me. Because I wasn't the wife I wanted to be. You know, the cook, clean, that person. And we all know, not me. My poor husband. I bought him fish the other night for the first time in forever and was going to make it for him. And he was like, oh, just let me do that, hun. I'm so bad at it. But I wasn't the wife that I thought I was going to be. I wasn't the friend that I was going to be. If I made a mistake or if I hurt someone's feeling, I was a mess. If I didn't get the job I wanted, if I didn't get whatever. But what if I started doing life like this? Expect the unexpected and deal with it. Which, here's what Graham Henry was telling me. This little 30-year-old in the middle of New Zealand, in this coldest freaking town in the world, was, you can deal with it. What? That was mind-blowing. Because if he's saying expect the unexpected and deal with it, it meant that I could deal with it. So the next time something massive happened, which was my dryer broke and my washer, which is horrific, I just cried. I stood in the laundry room and cried and cried and cried. I was like, I can't do this. This is not going to work. This is like the last straw. I need my dryer. I feel so American, blah, blah, blah. And I thought, nope, I'm going to deal with this. So I called the washing machine guy. They came out and fixed it, and it worked. And so all of a sudden I went, wow, what if I started doing life like this? And what it did is it freed me up to be me. Because I wasn't so worried about keeping my little lands that I've created and all my little worlds happy and all the people in those worlds happy and all the people liking me. I could just be me because I was going to expect the unexpected, and the unexpected could be anything because it's unexpected. So all of a sudden people not liking me or people being mean to me, which is my core issue, is I'm deathly afraid of people being mean to me, which is why the internet's scary, because all the mean people live in the internet. And that fear stopped me. So I'm going to expect the unexpected, and then I'm going to deal with it because I can deal with it because Sir Graham Henry told me I could. And what I want to create with us is a place where you know that you can deal with things. And we know, and we champion each other, and we encourage each other that we can deal with things. Because I will talk about that. I want to help us identify what we're great at. And then what does that practically mean in everyday life? How do we live what we're great at? Once we even figure out what we are great at, which is a lot of work sometimes, how do we live that? How do we do that for a job? What if we can't do that for a job? What does that look like? All those questions we're going to talk about. But if we don't know these first three things, we'll never get there. Which, again, what my 40-year-old self would go back and tell my 20-year-old self is this. What we started with. This is not your forever. Stop acting like this is your forever and get up and do what you need to do. And if it's scary, if it's hard, if it seems impossible, just walk right through it. Go straight through it. Don't go around it. Don't hide from it. And, again, what my 40-year-old self would love to go back and tell my 20-year-old self, oh, the pain, I would have saved myself and other people. Expect the unexpected and then deal with it. Know that this is life, and it's not going to be perfect, and that's okay, because life is imperfect, and life is hard, and people are imperfect. Newsflash, you're not perfect, neither is anyone else. So, once we can figure that out, I think this little tribe that we're creating, it's going to be a lot easier to figure out what we're good at, because all these other pressures, we're going to say, nope, not my forever. Nope, not going to be too scared to go through that. Nope, not going to think I can't. I'm going to think I can. And then what's going to happen is what my heart is I'm going to help us, I'm going to coach us to be great and to realize that you have a unique gift that you can give the world. So this is a teaser for next week. See that? Oh, perfect. I use my dirty finger. That's a fingerprint. that fingerprint no one else on this internet has. No one else in the world has. Just I have it. And you have one of those too? So we're going to identify what your soul's fingerprint is, what your mind's fingerprint is. And we're going to help each other be great at that and not be afraid and walk in what we were created to do and created to be. Because great coaches pull out the best in other people. So I can't do your job, but I can damn well help you get great at it because I believe something that you might not believe, that you are great at something. So, I talked a really long time again. Sorry, 10 minutes. I was trying to keep it at 5. But, okay, so this week, what are we going to do? Expect the unexpected, and we're going to deal with it because we can. This isn't our forever. Definitely it's not our forever, so stop acting like it is. Go straight through the hard stuff. It will save you time and pain, and expect the unexpected and deal with it. And from there, who knows what can happen. The unexpected is scary as hell, but scary as heck. Can I say hell? Scary as heck. It's not that bad of a word in New Zealand. Sorry. It's the unexpected is scary, but the unexpected is just that. There might be something there that you never could have dreamed because you were so scared. But if you expect the unexpected and deal with it, it might lead you to a place that you never knew you could be. Okay. Bye from New Zealand.
Bye from New Zealand. Bye.